Hi everyone, Eric Nelson here once again, and thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. For today, I am back with another book review on Janet C. Brennan's A Fine Line, The Ancients, Volume 2. Now with that being said, yes, I am reviewing another series out of order, but like the other series that I have reviewed out of order, this one's this book actually stands wonderful on its own. But if you want to become more familiar with the subject matter as well as the background on its characters, I highly recommend that you read the first volume of the series, which is called A Fine Line: The Beginning. Now, before I get into the review, I would like to make mention about how much I like how the series is titled, which is called the Fine Line series. And I like it because I like how this subject matter really covers I'm sorry, I missed it, the fine line of between good and evil. But also there is another fine line between real and supernatural as well. Now, with that being said, this novel of this series is actually set after World War number two, where William Heathway and his family, or in the series, his family is actually called the Crew. Now, so in other words, they must find a new living environment after the surrounding townspeople uncover the real truth of them, and which is they have supernatural powers. And of course, what is the initial reaction when someone finds out that someone is in any way supernatural? Well, of course, they basically have many panic. They have many panic attacks, and they assume the worst, and then they say, let's fight them, and they raise their fists or their fire sticks, and then they try to either murder them or violently and physically throw them away. So they must find a new living environment, and once they find an area, they immediately find an abused and somewhat mysterious a young female. Now, had it not been for an evil side, and now I'm sorry, had it not been for a group which is called the Damned, which is ruled by their leader named Aurora, and they are the evil side of the supernatural, whereas William Heathway and his crew are the good side of the supernatural. So in any ways, had it not been for the Damned and its leader, they probably wouldn't be so afraid of this young female. However, because they, like the surrounding townspeople, they assume the worst, but of course they take their time when investigating who this female really is. But will the but when the real mystery is revealed, will it be really good, or will it be really destructive? And is so in other words, is the female and the damned connected, or is also the damned connected with the surrounding townspeople as well, and their fear of William Heathway and his crew? Well, here is where I halt here, so that all of you can read this really great book. Now, as I said, I read it out of order, but as I said, this novel stands wonderful on its own. And I also also I had made mention about how I like the title of the series, the fine line about how it uncovers many different aspects of good, evil, real, and supernatural. And I really liked how JC was able to have the good side of the supernatural, which is the crew, and the bad side of the supernatural, which is the damned, and have them work off of each other. And I also like how she made the townspeople really hateful, and as well as if they were almost as bad as the damned. And it kind of reminded me of the classic Universal monster movies, about how whenever Frankenstein or the Wolfman were to be on the loose, and now of course we, the audience, have sympathy with those monsters, because we know that there is a real person behind them, but the simple-minded the simple-minded townspeople has no clue of that, and they assume the worst, and they exacerbate the horror, and they make it worse. Now, even though they're not really not main characters of this book, they really do make a great impact. So you can get this book anywhere, including Amazon, as well as the first and third volume of this series, and I hope there's more to come of this great series, and I hope to see you all at the bookstore or the iBookstore.